Hi, Mike.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Nope.
Okay.
No, just, I mean, they're coming over for dinner Sunday. Just our kids, right?
Leaving tomorrow morning, going to so to my sister's.
You ever been there?
No.
It's better than what I went out there. I mean, there's actually, yeah, there's actually. It's terrible.
Oh gosh.
Oh, it's the paper.
Built up a lot. A lot of trucking now. But it was still pretty desolate.
Yeah. Can't wait to see it.
Hotel. We got in at night, it was dark. It was kind of a hotel where your door opened up to an outdoor balcony, you know, or walkway.
Yeah.
So we checked in, and I opened the door, and it's facing right on the.
What's going on with the front of town hall?
So you're facing.
Piece of wood fell off.
Open the door. You couldn't see across. The
What?
Piece of wood fell off from way up high.
Oh,
No, that's terrible.
Big bad blowdown. Big bad wolf blew.
Now they're working on the reservation.
might be worth it though.
Reservation was nice. They had money. They were building houses, and casino.
The opposite of here.
Yeah.
It's just hard to get out of there. Like, it's a long way over no matter
Yeah.
bigger line. It's just not easy.
Okay, I think we flew. I mean, I think we flew through.
Atlanta. It was like a 4-hour layover.
I had a secretary book me a trip. I was going, where the hell was I going? I was going out west, mainly in the west coast. And so I gave my secretary, I said, just book me a flight. So she comes into it, I got your flight. She goes, I got you. It's a direct, you don't have to change the plane. I was like, oh, great. Southwest. She didn't tell me it stopped 4 times.
No.
But I never got the plane. After the 3rd time, the crew changed and the crew said, yeah, I'm still going.
Direct flight.
Yeah. Now, one of the stops.
Really?
Yeah, the crew felt bad. We started bringing some drinks, some snacks. I don't know what
Yeah,
we
every
got.
stop is, is your stop? No, I'm still here.
Yeah, still here.
What happened to this project way back in, was it 19? Did they ever move forward?
For this project?
Yeah.
Oh, they came in a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
That guy died.
Yeah, because I saw that, I was just looking at the file, like, so it's wild.
Yeah, then they came back. Earlier this year and last year, with adding another department. And so that's kind of what the project was about.
Looks like 7 from this vantage point, so we'll stand and do flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Cindy, roll call, please.
Chair Lorenzo.
Here.
Member Anderson. Here. Glenn Lopez.
Here.
Anthony Dorsey.
Here.
Joseph Keith.
Here.
Lawrence Borzaneski.
Here.
Michael Reinfeldt.
Here. Okay, welcome everyone. This is a meeting of the Planning Board of the Town of Lancaster. Please keep in mind that we are an advisory and recommending board and not a final decision-making body. The rules of the Planning Board allow us to recognize only the petitioners of the various projects and the representatives. We ask that anyone wishing to make comment do so in writing. So now we'll take a look at the minutes from March 15th. Any additions, deletions, or comments regarding those meeting minutes? Motion for somebody to accept, look for a motion to accept the meeting minutes.
Motion to accept.
A second by anyone?
I'll second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next, we have our communications list. Any questions or concerns? Okay. Move on then. We have a revised site plan review for Plum Creek Apartments. Do we have anyone here to speak on behalf of the project?
Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
My name is Jason Havens. I'm an engineer representing Frank Jabuskowitz, the owner of 5680 Broadway and the Plum Creek Apartments project. Here at your request, they're a submittal for site plan review on, I think, now the 4th rendition of this project.
Considering that it is a fourth rendition and that I haven't been here for any of the three prior, would you mind at least just going over what the changes are from the last iteration?
I sure can. So the original submission was a substantially larger number of units. Original thoughts were 12 units. It was in a different location to the east, to the west of where it is located now.
Okay.
A small portion of that was actually within the floodplain on the one corner of the building. We had discussed the opportunity to approach the insurance option to go forward with it in the floodplain. Frank investigated that, came up with a dollar figure, elected to relocate the building out of the floodplain. We've been able to do that and satisfy the conditions of all the drainage requirements that would be necessary for that relocation, reducing the footprint of the actual volume of work as well by about 3,000 square feet, which again helps with all conditions. So we're now well under an acre, and we're able to satisfy the conditions of all the planning board's recommendations in previous meetings.
Okay. At this point, I'll ask any questions or comments from the board. Hearing none, I'll move over to town engineer. Ed, any questions, comments?
Well, in reviewing the engineering report, I had a couple, the letter I sent out Monday, I think. The stormwater calcs indicate that the post-developed 100 is not equal to or less than the 10-year pre-developed, which is required. Still need to see some correspondence with Erie County Sewer and Erie County Water Authority. I know the report said that the sanitary was taken care of by the town, which is incorrect. It's done by Erie County Sewer District number 4. So they're gonna have to review it and make any comments they're gonna have on, tying into the sewer on Broadway.
So the sewer's just tying into the existing sewer on site, because it was oversized for the previous build.
That's fine. If you can get Erie County Sewer District to sign off on that, that's fine.
Okay.
Same with water, you know, making sure there's enough water for service. And I don't know, is this building sprinklered or is it?
No, this is fire separation from the building code.
Yeah. Yeah, I just need,
I mean, there's,
the correspondence from those agencies. You know, make sure they're signing off on it.
so this is the first we've heard of the need to correspond to the water authority, especially being that this size of the main to the previous existing building is already a 4-inch, which is far above the requirements for all of the facilities on site, including the proposed 10 units. I mean, we're double the need, and it's beyond the existing RPZ. So to me, that's something the water authority is just going to turn around and tell me, you already know the quantities, you got your fixture counts. Your fixture counts are far less than what a 4-inch is going to satisfy. There should be no reason, and they certainly won't allow us to run a secondary service to the
No.
units. So
No, but-
1 meter for the facilities.
Right, but you're still, I mean, obviously, you're still increasing your use.
Certainly.
Yeah, and so I just need sign off from them that they're okay with that. Same with the sewer.
So when you're looking for sign off, is this as simple as an email
Email's fine.
verification from, okay,
Yeah,
that I can,
yeah, emails are fine.
okay.
And like I said, and then the stormwater calcs,
Have a good one.
This is just,
you were close, but like I said, the numbers that were in the report, it didn't meet the county's requirements.
I don't know how that's possible, because we had 3 engineers review this. And these storm cells, these storm cells we had an extra 15% volume built into this just to ensure that we are beyond,
Yeah, I'm just going by the numbers that were in the report,
okay.
so.
So we'll increase the storm capacity, which is just adding additional, very simple. And beyond that, is there any other comments?
No, if you've got it down well below an acre, then the SWIP will go away.
Yes, we definitely reduced the footprint considerably for a number of reasons. Obviously, the SWIP is a substantial undertaking. It also helps with the volume calcs, and reduces the amount of impact to the property as well, so.
I mean, and once it gets through here and before town board, obviously, the stormwater agreement will still be needed, but that's,
So, yeah,
Secondary.
so I did contact code enforcement officer regarding that. There's no issues with us filing that. We obviously wanted approval before we went forward with that to make sure that what we had was satisfactory to you. That filing, does that go directly to you, or does that go to?
goes to the attorney's
town?
office. Yeah.
Sorry?
Goes to the town attorney's office.
Town attorney's office, okay. And that accompanies the fee as well with that at the same time, correct?
Fee for,
For that, I'm thinking your other agreement. I'm getting ahead of myself. The other permit that was referenced is the
the private improvement permit.
Correct.
Yeah, that goes to the clerk's office. That's after,
Understood.
that's after the town board approves it and you're ready to go to work.
Okay, so we're still a ways away.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Does it in any way help anybody to produce that information in advance? I mean, provide
No,
it to you, or?
No, the PIP permit is basically a form gets filled out and the plans that got approved get attached to it. So once
Okay.
they're approved, that work, part of it's done.
Okay,
The stormwater maintenance agreement, once everything is satisfied as far as the stormwater, then there's usually a couple pages of the drawings that get attached to that for reference.
okay. Now, the maintenance agreement will include the easement for that agreement. Is that my understanding? Is that how that works?
What do you?
For the way the code reads is that it's an easement for access to inspect.
Oh, for inspection, yes.
Correct, okay. Okay, so just so you know, that would provide them access to come to your property, go through the stormwater, inspect that you're maintaining it.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a requirement, basic requirements in the agreement are, it has to be inspected yearly by the owner,
Yep,
with that inspection submitted to the building department. Once every 5 years, it'll be inspected by a PE. Also submitted.
is there a form for submission by the owner on an annual basis?
It will be attached to the agreement.
Okay.
Yeah, the inspection forms will be attached to the agreement.
Okay. So, given the fact that there's no other comments, that we understand that the only thing I need to do is add a few more cells to this stormwater calc, would it be acceptable to request a approval pending the change to the stormwater calculations?
We're not there yet. We're still working through, we got to work through the entire, we've got to work through the building department yet and find out what comments they may have or considerations, as well as other folks here. So we're taking the attorney's comments first, and then we'll work through, and we'll get to a point where, in this proceeding, we're gonna have to go through the form here, the short form. Seeker form.
Seeker was, okay, so, this is, quite a few times we've been in front of the board, and provided the necessary advanced, timelines. Now, the concern I have is that we've provided the seeker documentation, on a number of occasions. This was already approved once, and the footprint's smaller, the impact is smaller. I'm very concerned that this is just repetitive delays, and we're meeting our deadlines. And I guess I'm not really certain why these things aren't done in that 30-day window that we've been told are gonna happen. So, you know, I've got to answer to him as to what these delays are. So I just respectfully ask, you know, if the seeker's been submitted 45 days ago, what's the delay?
So you're saying your portion of the seeker that you filled out was submitted?
Yeah.
It was.
Okay, so this is your first time in front of the board?
No, we've actually we had seeker approval for this numerous times.
On the project that you described before where it was a larger unit?
That's correct.
So
Yes.
with the project changing, we're gonna have to redo seeker to the plan right now.
Understood, but this has been, but again, this was submitted 30 days ago so that the seeker process could be reviewed, and it hasn't been touched and reviewed. That's very concerning to us.
I think that you were on the agenda at the last meeting, but not present, so we were just holding off for,
Yes, notified the day of.
okay. Well, that's the only reason we didn't go through it that night is because we wanted to make sure that you were here to answer any questions before they made a decision on it.
Okay,
Yeah, and just, so you know, I mean, the engineering report got stamped March 13th. So, I mean,
that's certainly, the stamp is for March 13th, but that was also pending the fact that I was already addressing your previous comments. But
Fine.
seeker had been approved a year ago, right? So we went and revised this solely because we were told if we move this out of the floodplain, it would be advantageous to all. And the question at that time was, if we do this, are we gonna have to redo seeker? And as the statement was, as long as we're not increasing the effects on the property, that wouldn't be a concern. So this project hasn't changed as far as the scale. The footprint is actually smaller. The impact is smaller. The drainage footprint is smaller. We're out of the floodplain. It's a short form. You know,
We could have had it done already,
Yeah, we're just gonna,
you know? I mean, it's a 5-minute thing. What is
is
the problem?
this, I'm wondering if this is happening, if it's part of this evening's conversation, or if we're gonna have to delay this
Well, you're on
another
the
month.
agenda. You weren't here the last time. You're on the agenda tonight. We're prepared to move forward.
Yeah,
Only 9, so there is one from
we're gonna,
the 19th. This-
unless you have anything else to add to his comments, we're gonna continue on and work our way through this, if it's all right with you. Okay. Ed, are you good? Any other comments?
Well, I'm a little confused because you keep saying seeker was approved. What was neg decked was a 8-car garage. That's why it's all started a couple of years ago. That's the only thing that was ever neg decked.
Okay, I'll go back to my records.
I mean,
It's
that's
not,
why
it's not
I-
But
important.
again-
It's not important.
Probably won't matter in about 7 minutes.
But either way, even if you get
Yeah,
a
we're-
negative declaration from the board tonight on your seeker review, it still needs to have site plan approval before you're gonna get in front of the town board.
That, I'm aware of that, yes.
Okay, if you just let us work through the process. Any other questions, concerns, or comments? Ed?
No.
Emily, do you have anything?
Nope.
Matt, anything from the building department? No, there was nothing, everything was satisfied. Okay. Councilmember Meza? Okay. At this point, I think we should do the seeker review.
Well, I'm kidding.
Okay. Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations?
No.
Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of the use of land?
Small.
Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community?
No.
Doesn't apply. The next one. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway? Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? No. Will the proposed action impact existing public or private water supplies? Public or private wastewater treatment utilities?
Well, we need,
Well, we don't really know on number 7. Weren't these the two, Ed, that,
Oh, sorry,
We
I went too
don't have
fast.
any
Yeah,
say.
yes,
That's okay.
yes, yes.
Those are the two I'm waiting to hear from
Okay.
the authorities on.
right, so it's actually 7 when we get to 10. Did this need a SWIP?
No, because they shrunk the size.
We're under an acre.
Never mind, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, so 7, can we act on it? Or we don't know the answer, so we have to table until Ed gets the sign-offs that he needs from Erie County Water and Sanitary Sewer, Erie County District Number 4.
So you said, you said that you're approved, and again, I apologize because I wasn't here before, right? You said you were approved prior. Did you not get that documentation that we were looking for from
This
Erie
is
County?
the first I've been asked for it.
Okay.
is,
This is where I get frustrated, because I would have absolutely had that. I would have submitted that as part of my submission, had I known that that was something that was being required. The reason that we didn't submit it was because these things are already oversized for their previous use and the future use. In addition to that, it's unusual that the water authority is going to tell us that we can't utilize the 4-inch that they've already permitted to its capacity. And we know it was already under capacity because it was permitted in the previous building. And the same applies to a 6-inch sanitary sewer. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but that's large enough for massive buildings. I mean, considerably bigger than what we're dealing with here, including the previous existing buildings.
So what are we doing then? Secret?
I don't think we have much of a choice. We're gonna have to table number 7, we'll have to get through to the rest of them, but I don't see where we stand a choice except to table the final seeker neg deck until everything at engineering is satisfied.
I understand this may be an inconvenience to you,
I understand, we would have had to come back. either way.
and I can appreciate the
So-
fact that you would have had this documentation. How quickly can you get the documentation?
Likely within the end of by Friday, if today's Wednesday, most likely. It
we
would
could-
be a direct email request to the departments that we work with daily.
And we can get them on if we have that documentation in hand by the end of the week, we can get you on the next board meeting, correct?
If they amend the stormwater calcs too.
Again,
There's some more issues.
and I
Yeah.
think Ed knows that we would be able to do that for him in a matter of a couple hours.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to, I just need to know if that's going to go through Matt or if it should come directly.
It gets submitted to Matt's office, but I usually get it within a day.
And again, as the guy who is new here, I'm going to take the hit here. If you could do that, I understand that you came here today with a specific goal in mind, but it appears that we need more information to get you to that point, and call it because of my naivete, because I wasn't involved prior.
It's fine.
So if that's okay, well,
I
it's going to
will-
have to be okay.
I would only ask that we maybe go through the remainder of the secret
We are,
document to see. Yeah.
we are, absolutely, we will absolutely go through the remainder of
Yeah.
them. But I just want to make sure that you understood our
Certainly.
position.
Yep.
Okay, so number 8 then, right? Because we were, 7, A and B are the ones that we need to get information on. So number 8, will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources?
No.
Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources?
No.
Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems?
No.
Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health?
No.
That's it.
So, we make a note that we have no choice but to table the final next deck until we have the information we need on number 7, and then it's just a quick vote.
Yeah, your understanding of our requirements, correct?
Certainly.
We need to get there. And if you can get it to us, as you said, by the end of the week, we will make sure that you get put on the next calendar, or on the next meeting.
Not a problem.
And at that point, we should be okay. I'm not going to say that something that you might have been told prior.
Could I ask a question?
Yeah.
Just procedurally, is the reason that the notification came so late about the sewer because it was just discovered that it's not maintained by the town? Is that what happened?
Well, like I said, I got, the report was received on March 13th, and I looked at it, I didn't look at it probably until a week or so ago.
Yeah.
And in reviewing it, that's when I caught the fact that, A, the report states that the sewer is maintained by the town, which it's not.
Gotcha.
And in reading through the calculations, which are fine, but because we don't operate either one of those systems, then we.
Oh, no, I get it. Yeah, it's not our system.
Yeah,
It's not- I was just curious
Yeah.
where, how that happened so late in it. I just don't, first time I saw that. That makes sense. Okay.
Good.
And just to clarify, Ed, this is Erie County DSM jurisdiction, is that?
For sewer? Yeah, District 4.
Sewer District 4.
Yeah.
Got it,
Yep.
got it. Thank you.
Okay. You're all good? Good. Okay.
All set?
At this point, we'll look for a motion to table.
I'll make a motion to table the application for revised site plan and for the seeker, specifically item number 7, until all information is received.
Great. Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion's been tabled.
I just have one follow-up. The drawing for the drainage utility sheets would change by
Correct.
feet
Yep.
for the
Yep.
drainage outlines. Do you want 12 copies of the whole set reprinted and delivered?
Matt, when you get revisions like that, what do you normally look for 12?
Revisions are received normally 12. Again, with the electronic copies, it just makes life a lot easier for me. For the rest of the store, but we would receive 12.
For the entire drawing set?
The plan set.
Not a problem. Okay. Just want to make sure I get what you guys need. Thank you.
Now, is it clear that we're tabled to April 19th?
It
That-
is now,
Is that our next meeting?
yeah.
April 19th, all right, just want to make that clear so.
Yeah, so, yeah, you will definitely get notified officially, but that's when we're tabling you to the April 19th meeting.
Next meeting.
We can put you on early on the agenda.
But will it be the first one on?
We approved the site plan then, that night.
Yeah, boom, boom.
Yeah, you can do both.
So you would have had to be here anyway.
Right, yes.
Yeah, if everything is in place, then it's just, we have to reopen Kicker, but we only have to address number 7. We give it a neg deck and adopt that, and then we turn the site plan, we open site plan review. Answer any questions?
Just like she said.
Boom, boom.
I'm telling you.
Kind of-
It's the right
I
hand.
mean, we've been here and you weren't. I mean, that just happens, once in a while, that happens. But we've been looking at this pile for a while.
And we don't have to belabor the point. We understand that you were notified late.
Yeah,
It's,
it happens.
we're going to address that in the next, we'll go forward. We can't go backward, right? We can only go forward, so. We apologize for whatever happened, if there was a lack of communication or untimely communication, but now we think we got a plan to move forward. Okay? Thank you. Thanks. Next item is the discussion, Matt, for the IPS.
Yes. So briefly, I was able to sit through a presentation of, what the program could do for the town. And it's just as, as I imagined it, it is amendable as well. But of course, all these things come at a cost. So the initial, and I can submit this formally, electronically,
Okay.
because I know we have to make a decision as a town as to how many people are going to get licensed to the software. So, I mean, for the first time, 1-year investment, it's a total of $4,100. That's the install of the software, the implementation of the system, and then some support services, which turns out to be a $900 a year annual fee, just to keep it up to date and current and what have you. On top of that, there's additional licensing for whomever may need access to it or uploading information and what have you. My recommendation is at least one per department that has to deal with the plan review. And then as far as this board is concerned, perhaps a read-only access just to see where things are at. And one of the niceties about making changes to the software is that we can dictate what the steps are. This doesn't go any farther than this point until this, and this are satisfied. And it's a nice, clean place to keep it all together outside of our filing cabinets. Licensing fees, depending on how many are purchased at one time, they're going to average between $1,300, but if there are going to be 5 or more, they can drop it down to $1,100. So if we have 5 or 6 departments, it's another $5,000, $6,000 just for licensing fees.
One time or annually?
Pardon me?
One time or annually?
It's a one-time licensing.
Okay.
The only recurring expense is going to be
The $900. That's the $900, right?
That's the $900. Right? So again, these are things that need to be factored into our budgeting. Hopefully, if we keep discussing it, we can have a presentation to this board from IPS just to show how it works, see, show different ways it could be manipulated and customized to meet our needs, and help with making a decision. So, honestly, I really don't see any implementation until 2024. We could, yeah, we could have a joint session. The module itself also works for zoning as well, so zoning board of appeals could have access to it. It's a good way to keep all of that information stored electronically. And it all works together. I mean, it comes right down to the nuts and bolts of it, right from site plan, the process of review, all the documentation, all the the referrals, any variances that are granted, all of that whole process can be followed through the program. It's there, it's all and readily available.
What departments do you think you know?
Primarily, town board, legal department, engineering department, planning board, and several members, zoning board. Right, and it'll spur from
Do we
the
need to
existing
with
software.
public safety or making access and?
Not necessarily, because the input, the data input is primarily between those entities. Any comments that, when we do get comments from other departments, police, highway, whatever, you can always load them on electronically.
And this is the one that other areas are using? Other
There
districts
are
are using?
versions of it out there that other municipalities are using, not just in New York State, either, in other states.
Did you get a chance to talk to any of them by chance? Or?
I've spoken, well, they're using it in different fashions because their focus is in one direction.
Yeah.
And here, the nice thing about this is that we're also incorporating applications and payment process through the town clerk's software as well. So it all works together.
Yeah. All right.
So the same thing with notification requirements, creating agendas, setting schedules, setting fees, all of that. It can all be customized on this platform. For instance, the notifications that we make, there can be an online portal where the applicant can physically log on and see his project, see where it's at. So any comments from anyone at any time is readily available at his leisure.
Be nice to trim down some of the phone calls you get, I'm sure.
Sure.
Who does that customization? You said it could be customized.
Yes, that's.
So it's not something that we have to do internally?
That's the $900 a year probably. We have to
That's what I was hoping.
Yeah.
The past few years, I've been on the phone constantly with their tech support. Hey, can you tweak this, create this form? I want to be able to do this, set this up, and they work through the technical aspects of it.
They work their system to make it work for us. Yep.
Hey, you're a smart guy if you think it's good.
That's where I rely on that too much.
Who doesn't? What do you think I'm doing over here with this thing?
I can tell you some of the.
But just,
Yeah, well, that's
each that process, and I think more importantly too, is to have a consistent process so that no matter what it is, you're going to go through the formula. This is how you're going to go through it and get to the end result. So it hopefully is going to increase communication with the applicants and know what we expect of them.
Do you think that had we have this in place, that this situation today would have been resolved?
It could be. It could be.
I mean, because it seems like, we, as a town, I think we've got, they bear a lot of the responsibility, but I think as a town, we have some egg in our face as well,
Maybe, but the meeting was the 15th, the plans were stamped the 13th, so the fact that they got notified on the 14th actually attests to the efficiency, I would say, of our turnaround.
Portion of it as it pertains to seeker, I mean, it should be automatic. You get the application in, if it's sent out for referral, it should automatically be scheduled for 30 days out regardless. It should be on the schedule.
Yeah.
It's there no matter what, unless the applicant decides to make a change or go in a different direction.
It adds visibility, I mean, I like it, sounds good.
Yeah, well, this project changed.
Absolutely, absolutely.
This project changed.
That's a result of a strenuous review process.
Yeah, I mean, we recommended move that building out of floodplain in whatever way they chose to do it. And I think, so am I correct, they shrunk the building and moved it?
They moved it, they relocated the building.
Yeah.
And, again, what was it, eight-car garage addition, the last approval went to a six-car garage addition in the apartment building.
Right.
It's totally different.
Right. So I have no guilt about reopening secret because we didn't satisfy secret before. We did for a garage.
You're tapping into the sewer, you need I put a bathroom in my backyard, I had to get a letter from the sewer, you just have to get a letter from the sewer, like, that's not a...
I mean, these are the things that are requested upon initial application and is notified, they have to do this. They want to be heard. So hear it
Sure.
and move through.
We'll get past it, it's no big deal. Any other questions of Matt of the system? Matt, anything else that you want to discuss?
Should you want to see how it works on the permitting portion of it, I'm always available. Try to, help answer any questions or if there's any thoughts that you've come up with, any scenarios. It's always good to have input by those that are using it, finding it to create the documents, the applications, the whole process.
What time you in tomorrow? I'm actually off tomorrow for the first time in like 28 days. I'll swing by.
Anything else, Matt?
That's it, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Councilmember Mazer.
Yeah, just the one thing. I apologize for last meeting. We had our meet, committee meeting, our ordinance meeting. I couldn't make it. A family emergency, Colonel stepped in. What I want to do with our revised ordinance is I'm going to give it to the town attorney's office, and we're going to try to schedule, under Matt's idea was to schedule 2 more public hearings on it. Anybody has any other comments on it, on the revised ordinance, please let us know. And we're going to schedule, try to get for 2 meetings to give the public another crack at it one more time. And then we'll-
2 more times.
2 more times.
Well, it's 2 times. The public really hasn't seen it.
That's true.
You know, I mean, everything's been drafted through committee.
Yes. Well, I appreciate everybody's input on it. This is the way it's supposed to work with input from the residents, from the planning board, from the building department, and the town attorney's office working together to get this done. It's been a while. Looks like we're going to be able to let at least a draft go to the public hearing. So thank you. Again, any more extra comments, let me know.
Great. We're getting there. Anything else, Councilmember Mazer? Town Attorney's Office have anything
No.
to add? No?
Nothing to add.
Ed, anything from you? No. Cindy, anything on your end? No? Okay, motion, I move to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Motion adjourned.
Next meeting, I'm not going to be here.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse, please.
Thank you.
Taking my birthday off?
Did you hear that?
I think that's,
How's everything going?
Well, yeah. Slowly but surely.
Getting back to yourself?
They
that have had RV.
Yeah.
8 weeks.
They don't really know. And the guys who comply with in the back, I don't
Turning it off.
Of course.
How well I'm doing for long that. But I anticipate
Yeah, good.
at least
Not our fastest meeting.
If you ask me, I mean, people hold on to that forever. I don't know why you want it.
All right, I'm gonna-